I'm starting over. I'm having newcomer kinks to work out. So, anyways, my name is Heather. I'm 51 years old. I live in the Rio Grande Valley, which, for those of you who don't know where that's at, that is in the very lower region of Texas at the Mexico border. It could include from Laredo to Roma, Rio Grande Valley, Rio Grande City, Mission, McAllen, Edinburgh, Harlingen, and then all the little towns that are kind of surrounding that. So that's where I live. It's very warm here, upper 80s, 90s. It's May. 2 more weeks till Memorial Day. It'll definitely be in the hundreds, I'm sure, by then. But anyways, I'd like to talk about menopause today. Perimenopause, menopause, and what we are being told or not being told, what's being talked about or not being talked about. And I'm not going to make this a crazy long video because there's really not a whole lot to really talk about. Okay, so just probably a month ago or so, I had a nice visit, a pleasant visit with a new GYN here in the Valley. The VA sent me to this doctor off campus. So I'm a veteran, yes. I served 15 years in the United States Navy, and I get my health care from the VA. So a lot of times down here, due to lack of care inside the VA, we do get sent out quite a bit for professional services. So eye doctors, GYNs, chiropractors, things like that. So anyways, perimenopause, what is that? Peri is the beginning, right? The before the party, the before the pregame. So perimenopause is the pregame to menopause. Hot flashes, crankiness. I got very painful periods that would only last a few days maybe. I've been on a 3-day cycle for years now. I used to take birth control when I was a lot younger. Once I got out of the military, I went completely off. So I've been off birth control completely for probably about 18 years now. And I've been out of the military for about 15. So with that being said, I've heard through the medical rumors when I was younger that the later we start our periods in our teen years, the later we start, the earlier the menopause begins. So I did not start my period till I was 15. I had a full, probably a 34C D cup, no period. I didn't get a period till I was a freshman, and I was 15 years old. So with that being said, later on down the line at 31, my period stopped altogether. Went to the doctor, and the corpsman was like, hey, you might be starting menopause now. Let me give you a shot, and this is going to jumpstart your period. And she did. Gave me a shot, jumpstart my period, and I was back on track, and I've been on track ever since. Age 39, I did get pregnant, but I had a miscarriage I think the baby stopped growing at 9 weeks, and it was declared a miscarriage at the 10-week appointment. Never had any pregnancies before that, never had any abortions, never had any pregnancies after that. So now I'm 51. I have a regular period still, once a month. And now there was a time frame that I was having a period every three weeks. So they're like, wow, you're ovulating twice a month. What's going on with that? So then somewhere along the line, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, right? So they took a sample of my uterus. I believe it was the uterus. There was some tissue. Anyway, they were checking for fibroids. And they put the tools in, and the tools went flying across the room. It was extremely painful. I don't recommend that at all. I was later sent, a couple years later, I was sent to a civilian doctor, and she said, hey, based on your description, I didn't have a bleeding problem, I had a pain problem. So based on my description of the pain, when it comes, when it goes, endometriosis. Now, I did look into getting a hysterectomy, and I was actually scheduled for surgery when I was living out in Oregon, and for some reason I didn't get it. And I'm glad that I didn't do that, and I'm going to tell you why. So the reason I'm glad I didn't do that is because the body will not age naturally if you're missing all your lady bits. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, your ovaries are still pumping estrogen. Your estrogen is what lubricates your skin. You need estrogen. Okay, if you get your uterus taken out, your estrogen is probably not doing what it's supposed to be doing as far as like all the parts that are connected, right? So your fallopian tubes, your ovaries, and your uterus. So with that being said, we need our ovaries to keep us looking younger and to keep us basically alive. Because once we hit the full menopause, that's when things start to kind of deteriorate in the other direction. So with that being said, here's my experience. I'm 51. I'm a massage therapist. I do not have a steady partner, but I do know that there are certain clients that when they come to see me, there is some sort of sexual attraction on their part, for sure. And I can feel it in the room, right? Like I could feel the chakras catching on fire, that this person is being drawn to me, right? And it's genetics, right? The genetic draw is that this person wants to mate with me. They may not want me to be their girlfriend, their wife, their baby mama, or anything like that, but their genetic signals in their brain that they cannot control are signaling them to mate. And when that happens, so their pheromones are going to start kicking off, right? So once there's an attraction there for some reason, now it's probably a sense of smell. So when they come in, when they book, they might like what they see online from booking. Then they come and see me, and their sense of smell is going to take over, and that is going to cause them to want to mate. Now, I'm not saying that you should go get a massage and turn your mate meter on and try to get some sex out of that, but I'm saying this is genetics and this is how it works, right? So they want to mate even if I have 1,000 red flags, they still want to smash because my genetic DNA is telling them through pheromones that I'm a good match to make a baby. They're not saying I don't have any red flags. They don't say I'm not crazy. They're not saying this and they're not saying that. They're saying mate with this animal for reproduction. Okay, so if I don't have a mate, but I'm surrounded by a lot of men regularly, my pheromones are being triggered regularly, and that in essence is keeping my estrogen going. So even if I want to, let's say I did have a partner and that partner has low testosterone and he gained a bunch of weight and his estrogen is high, guess what? My estrogen is going to tank, and that's going to probably start my period to stop, or it's going to be delayed, or there's going to be an issue with it. So whoever your partner is, if you're having issues with your cycle and menopause and things like that, it could be the pheromones that person is dinging off to you, and your body's telling you this is not a good match for me. Maybe they gained a bunch of weight and they got out of control with it, and they're not taking care of themselves, and you're turned off. Well, in essence, they're turning off the sex meter. If you, the female, have gained a bunch of weight, now your hormones are out of whack, and your sex signal to your spouse or your mate is not going off, and he's not going to mate with you. So then he's going to go look for another place to mate. So where do boys like to go find places to mate? They go to the bar, they go to the club, they go to the massage girl, they go to wax girls, anywhere they can go to get intimate touch, to see, just to maybe see if it's them or if it's you, or maybe Am I still attractive? Does his mate meter still work? Is his penis broken? You know, those kinds of things. Probably not. Okay, so perimenopause, I had some issues, and then later I actually ordered a V kit off of Amazon. So it's a steam kit. So I ordered a steaming kit. It was probably $40. I did this during COVID, and you basically boil this tea that's in there. The key ingredient is mugwort, which is used in ancient, like Indian days for abortion. So you do not want to use mugwort or any kind of vaginal steaming if you're on your period, because now you have an open wound, or if you're pregnant, because it could cause a stimulated spontaneous abortion, miscarriage. Okay, so I steamed, and all of a sudden my endometriosis issues went away, and I have not had an issue since. Now I can tell obviously when my period is coming and when it's about to really launch, because I do get a heavy cramp. Bam, it starts, and then all of a sudden the pain pretty much subsides. So it's pretty much the same symptoms I had with endometriosis, except for now I am more manageable as far as like discomfort goes, because I know a period's coming. I know my ovaries are still pumping estrogen, and I know that's going to keep me very active, and that's what I want. I don't want to dry up. No estrogen means dry skin, and it's going to be dry in places you don't want it. Like the part between the back and the front. That little part, yeah, it gets dry. And if you have a small front and you got a small part between the front and the back, like it could be very issue-ish problem. Okay, so you don't want that. So you always need to have lube on hand, massage oil on hand, any kind of protection you need on hand, but make sure that you have the lube on hand, because it can make penetration a little difficult. However, the inside of the vagina does start, the skin is called atrophy. The skin does start to kind of sag. And as we get older and you go for those GYN appointments, they may need to use a larger speculum to scoot the skin out of the way so that they can see the cervix. So that's how that goes. They're not going to tell you all that. So now, what are we doing? So let's talk about diet. Your diet needs to be dialed in. I'm talking like you need to be on like a bodybuilder's diet or some sort of health nutrition diet of some sort. I'm talking no alcohol, fast food, eating out. That is affecting your hormones, whether you want to believe it or not, and it is not doing you any favors. Diet. Exercise. You need to be exercising regularly. I'm 51. I'm in the middle of a body recomp right now. I started on February 24th. It is now May 17th. I've lost almost 10 pounds, so it's taken me that long to lose 10 pounds. But I'm gaining a ton of muscle. I'm getting a peach in the back, a wagon, an ass that I've always had one, but now it's really starting to be like a massive shelf back there. And I'm really liking my results. So whatever you hear about, like you can't build muscle after 50, like that's not true. Okay, and on my TikTok page at Chasing Heather, I think it's Chasing Heather Massage. There's videos there. At Chasing Heather 25 on Instagram, there's videos there, and I also have some shorts on here also that I'll keep putting up of just different stuff, so you can see my size. You could see generally how much I weigh. I'm about 5'3" to 5'4", and I'm weighing right at 180, right on the money, 180. So I'm probably closer to 178, 179. Okay, so that's where I'm at, May 17th from February. So, and I started at 187. So what else do we need? We need our diet. This is how we're surviving menopause. You need your diet in control. You need your exercise in control. If you don't know what you're doing, get a nutritionist. You need a food scale. You need to be weighing and tracking everything. If you're not, I promise you, you're eating more than you think you are. If you need something to drink all day, it's either water. I drink peppermint iced tea, and I occasionally mix in a coconut water with that. 60 calories. It goes in my tracker, and it's electrolytes. And it flavors my water, and it doesn't taste like crap. And I mean, I could drink that all day. Love it. Okay. So there's that. And the last thing, one of our other things is sleep, right? So we need to be getting sleep. I'm talking a lot of sleep. My sleep schedule is completely hosed up. And I don't care because I'm not married and I own dogs and they don't care either. So how do I manage sleep? Well, I'm glad you asked. I kind of go to bed early, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, my gym does not open till 5. So my schedule is Monday through Friday, I go to the gym. 5 a.m. I'm in the gym tomorrow. We're going to do legs. And I stick to the script with the legs. I'm not going to go wander over here and try over this. And I'm not going to wander over there and try over that. No, we're going to get in there. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. So Monday, legs. Tuesday, back. Wednesday, upper body. Thursday, legs. Again, the exact same leg routine. Friday, back again. Saturday, go ride my bike outside, road bike, 20 to 25 miles, somewhere in there. When I'm done with that, I get home. I might have breakfast, maybe not, get my dogs out real quick, and then I go swim. The pool opens at 8. That's my schedule. Okay, so during the week, after Monday, because now the gym's open 24 hours. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm in the gym about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I stay in there about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I also have to walk my dog. Do I get 10,000 steps in every single day? No. Do I do cardio 3 times a week? Not necessarily. But that bike ride is upwards of 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours, plus a swim. So I believe that counts as 3 cardios in a week, if you ask me. So that's what we're doing. And sex. Sex is the last thing we need to talk about, because if you're not having sex, your estrogen is like, you're going to look like an old hag. Okay? I'm just going to tell the truth. If your dopamine dump is not coming in the form of affection, sex, and orgasms, oxytocin, dopamine, and if you're not getting that skin-to-skin touch, that you're going to turn into an old hag. So that's the secret to not turning into an old hag. Now, if you want to get on HRT, I believe it's not recommended if you still have your uterus and your ovaries, due to it can cause cancer. It can't. They will do a mammogram. Hey, do you have any lumps right now? Because hormonal cancer can come from HRT. So the name of the game is to keep your ovaries, keep your uterus as long as you can, keep your ovaries for sure, and your skin, because your skin, bro, it's your skin. Your skin. And if you're a smoker and you had a hysterectomy, your skin is super dry. So you got to hydrate. You got to use your estrogen cream. I do have estrogen cream, but that's the only thing I have. Other than that, diet, exercise, sleep, and you need to have that skin-to-skin pheromones from males, for all you straight girls, females, I don't know about you lesbians, but you need to have that pheromones bouncing back and forth telling you to mate, because that's going to keep your period coming. And I'm telling you, you could be 60, 65 and still have a period. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay? So that's our educational video of the day. Hopefully you like my channel and my content and my approach to talking about things. Work out, walk. You also need vitamin D and B12. You get vitamin D from the sun. I don't care what anybody says. I do not believe in taking vitamin D in the pill form when you can get it from the sun. I live in a sunny place. My vitamin D levels are perfectly fine, and it was never like that before 2023, and until I started going outside more and walking my dog, exercising. Now I have my sunroof open all the time, all my windows, and guess what? My vitamin D is good. My B12 is good. Everything is good. Okay? So if you'd like to reach me, you can find me at heatherkirk35@gmail. My business name, Chasing Heather Massage and Spa Services. I am not necessarily working in the valley right now. The boys down here are rather rowdy. So we're doing a few other things. So if you would like information on adult content, how to get started. I also have a TikTok where I have workout videos and little car rants. I have an Instagram with more little reels. I'm starting over on Instagram. I got accidentally kicked out, and then they said I could come back, and I tried to come back, and I'm kind of locked out. So there's going to be a spicy channel coming very shortly. I'm pending approval right now. So there will be some of that kind of content. And I'll give you a teaser. Some of that content is going to be sensual massage content with men and myself. So it'll be mostly, for now. I mean, anything can happen, right? So one-on-one content, massage involved, sensual massage. Okay, so there will be a channel coming for that. It's going to be OnlyFans in case anybody's asking. And that's what we're doing. Okay, so 51, I do not have any kids. I do not have any boyfriends, but I do have lovers that love to come over and get a nice sensual massage from me and let me record it. So that's what we got. Thank you for stopping by. I hope I helped at least one person. HeatherKirk35@gmail is where I'm at. You can hit me in the chat on here as well. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. Anyways, till next time, have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and hit my inbox, okay? Chat soon. Ciao.